Sheriff, you ready to go now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I am going to call the meeting to order. This is our first attempt at bifurcating the Law Enforcement Academy Board meetings. I actually think that it's going to work well for everybody, so thank you all for being here today. The way that we're doing this sort of precludes everybody that's involved in certification hearings from having to sit here for long periods of time waiting for something to happen, and we can be a little more efficient in dealing with our this part of our board meeting. So thank you all for being here today. The first item on the agenda, call to order. We'll just have everybody introduce themselves, and I actually, even though it's not just the board, but I'll start with Monica. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
My name is Monica Medrano. I'm with the Law Enforcement Academy.
Jack Jones, Director of the Law Enforcement Academy.
Chris McCall, Hobbs Police Department, representatives of municipal chiefs.
Sergeant Jaime Casado, Las Cruces Police Department, representing the line officer.
Pete Caceres, State Police, representing State Police.
Jerry King, Attorney General.
My name is Nate Korn. I'm representing the citizens. I'm one of the two citizen representatives.
Sheriff Rob Kuhn, I'm from Chavez County, Roswell. I represent the sheriffs.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is public comment, and I believe that we have at least one person who signed up here, and we'll see if there's anybody else. But Mr. Mickles, public comment.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. First, let me be clear. I'm Chris Michels, retired of Los Alamos. I've attended a number of these meetings, so I'm probably getting familiar with each other. This public comment has nothing to do with the agenda items that I have on later today. I just want to be clear about that.
Okay.
The reason for commenting today was, as many of you are probably aware, is we had another police shooting recently in Santa Fe, a couple of days ago. It involved punching a lot of holes in a van off Almeida, and I don't think the details, which are still not very clear, as to whether the driver was armed or not, that's not available. But I think what is troubling is that the shooting at the van itself is troubling. Apparently there were about 10 bullet holes put into this van, a bunch of them from the side, and about 3 from the rear by a couple of different officers. This, of course, endangered the public, because when you've got a guy going down the road, what happens if you get lucky and kill him? The trajectory of the van seems pretty unclear at that point. And in fact, that they didn't stop him. He finally stopped and was pulled over later on. So it seems very unclear of the wisdom of shooting at that guy. I mean, he wasn't stopped by the bullets. He was stopped. The bullets simply, in my opinion, and the opinion I think of a number of the public with the current upset about police shootings, the shooting simply contributed to endangering the public. Consistent with that, we have one of the prominent items in the recent DOJ settlement agreement in Albuquerque, which I'm sure that many of you are aware of. One of the prominent items in that agreement is the prohibition against shooting at moving vehicles or shooting from moving vehicles, and it's a very strong prohibition. So, again, in our incident, with uniform policies across the state, I would suggest that perhaps we wouldn't have had that van being shot at in Santa Fe, because their policies wouldn't, and the training wouldn't have allowed it. Hopefully, the standards of the DOJ will become, at some point, widespread in the state. I mean, hopefully it will help to set a new standard of police behavior, because certainly it would be of some convenience for those who are questioning this in a court suit, for example, to be able to look to that prohibition in that DOJ settlement as establishing a standard, which unfortunately the rest of the state is not following in our police forces. And I know this from personal investigations of the policies. And there are some agencies that are following those standards, some that come to mind are Albuquerque pretty much follows the standards too. Las Cruces has such language in their policies. Los Alamos has that very language in their policy, about that prohibition. Even the Santa Fe Sheriff has such a provision in their use of force policies. But when I look at other policies, the state police, though he may not agree with me,
I don't, but.
okay, anyway, we may disagree over the language, we probably would, but we've never really just discussed it. I'd love to discuss it. I believe there are policies all over the state, and I've looked at some of these policies. The Santa Fe police policy does not prohibit shooting at vehicles in such cases. I don't see that the state police policy prohibits shooting at vehicles in such situations. So you see, the potential for mischief and mayhem is enormous when we've got police agencies all across the state running different policies with different opinions about the law. And I'm going to suggest to you, and this has come up before this board, I think going back to last February, when we brought the Jeanette Anaya incident to the attention of this board, and this question was raised about the policies of the state police at that time, as to what the role of the Law Enforcement Academy Board is as a standard-setting organization. As far as I'm aware of in this state, they're the only standard-setting organization in the state. You're chaired by an Attorney General, who's the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state. I hope I have that right. And so the question is, if this board, chaired by the Attorney General, and chartered as a standards organization, and I know your emphasis is mostly on standards and training, and we have some issues about that, but if this board is not setting standards and helping to establish consistent legal standards across the state, why aren't you? I can find no other agency in the state that has that responsibility, and it certainly seems to me that someone must, or this mayhem and confusion will continue. So that's my concern today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Michels, and sorry for mispronouncing your name. I thought I had it right before, but thank you. I appreciate it.
It's subject to misrepresentation. Thank you.